It's basically a combination of celebrities who, quite frankly, don't really matter anymore. And then it's the celebrities that still hold a special place in some people's hearts that for some odd reason don't seem to understand that they actually tarnish their brand a lot more when they do this type of crap.
Blazalot says Paramore started showing up more in my Spotify shuffle. Coincidence? I don't think it is. I think you've got a band that's on the outs. They've been in decline.
Project 2025 is Donald Trump's playbook for controlling and punishing women, poor people, people of color, and the LGBTQ plus community. It is time for all Americans to band together and to finally defeat the Trump agenda. And the only way to do that is by confronting him at the polls. Do you want to live in a dictatorship?
Say it. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna stop you. Yeah, fuck America.
Same fucking broken road, or are we moving forward?
Well, Sam, nothing says change like voting for the same administration that made everything 10 times worse. I mean, real bang up job there, Sam. It is quite alarming that people are cheering F America. I mean, this right here is the nation that gives you the voice to... It kind of goes back to the NFL players kneeling during the national anthem. And yeah, I'm going to bring that up. Basically, the point is this right here. The real reason why I think people got so upset about that was not so much the fact that you were protesting the U.S. It's the fact that it was disrespectful, given the fact that it was the troops that gave you the right to actually protest. It basically was a sign of disrespect. That right there is what it is that people were really upset with. And of course, the disrespect here is unreal. But of course, there is a reason why it is that they do this. And it's actually quite sad when you look at it. I would say that one person that we're going to talk about, let's just say that one person in this video, who I'm probably going to spend the bulk of the video talking about, I'm just going to say this right here. You shouldn't be surprised because he's done this particular type commercial before, which we'll get to here soon. Paramore, on the other hand, I don't think anybody really and truly cares about. So, yeah, they just look like sellouts right now. And this other guy, yeah, I'm not really going to speak much about him because I'm not really and truly that surprised. But, of course, there are a lot of people who want to know why it is these people sell themselves out for practically pennies on the dollar. So that's what we're going to be talking about here. Okay, so you guys obviously heard a little bit of that. And speaking of celebrities, you could kind of sort of tell with this particular video, the B-roll footage, that the girl from Paramore, you can see that she's obviously reading from a script. And then you got this guy, Macklemore, basically saying F America. So you got to ask yourself a question. Why in the world do these celebrities do this? Well, I think the answer is much, much more, let's just say simple than you think, or much, much more obvious. It's because that, for the most part, some of these people are, in fact, washed up. Now, you will get somebody who's not washed up who will eventually come out and do some type of stuff like this right here or make a very, very bad decision. But those who are somewhat washed up are just looking to get right back to the limelight. Still, though, at the same time, though, it's a pretty bad reason to essentially endorse something that you probably don't really and truly believe in. There are some people who, quite frankly, are absolute horrible actors and who are bad in their personal life who endorse this type of nonsense because obviously they're looking to continue to get away with it, especially with everything going on with Diddy and all the celebrities deleting their Twitter accounts, from Megan Fox to Usher, who claims he was hacked. I don't think I need to go too far into that. It's pretty daggone obvious that Hollywood is a den full of snakes. Still, though, at the same time, though, you do have that outskirt, that little edge of people who, quite frankly, are washed up, who are going to do the endorsement anyways because they're still looking for an opportunity to get some additional revenue. Now, guys, real quick, before we really and truly dive in, I want you guys to know that this video is going to be kind of a split video. And what I mean by that is that I'm going to be talking about the actors' endorsements, which, of course, this video is going to be, quite frankly, a shorter video than normal. And, of course, I'm going to be talking about this right here, but I'm also going to be coming right back to this in a video that may come out later on this evening or it may come out tomorrow. This could be a day where it could be 3 videos, depending on how the day goes. And, of course, the video that will come out tomorrow will be talking about this cringe-worthy attempt by the Kamala Harris campaign to, let's just say, try to court men that, of course, is not exactly working. And of course, one of the ways they choose to court these men is by going after certain celebrities that, of course, hold a special place in some men's hearts. They couldn't get Clint Eastwood. You couldn't get, hell, and there's a lot of old school actors out there that typically tend to be conservative or more conservative. So they chose to go with the option of Samuel Elliott, Sam Elliott. Of course, you guys probably know who Sam Elliott is. Now, the Lincoln Project cut this it's actually like a minute-long ad, which I'll go much, much more into detail with tomorrow. And of course, this is an ad featuring a voiceover from Sam Elliott, which of course, in my opinion, only does more to hurt Sam Elliott's brand than it does to hurt Donald Trump. Let me play the first 30 seconds of it.
Steve, we're having this conversation again. So here we go. You know who the candidates are. You know what's at stake. One candidate promises a divided America filled with lies and hate. And one stands for change. Kamala Harris has more courage, more honor, more guts than this guy ever had. So you decide, are we really going back
what it
down?
boils down to is actors, actresses, musicians who are on the decline, who don't really have, anything outside a cult base or a very, very loyal base. Cult base is probably the wrong word to use, but I typically tend to use that in the sense of cult classic, like say certain films like say The Thing, or you guys know what I mean when I say cult classics. Typically what it is that these people have a very, very loyal base of followers, and of course they expect this loyal base of followers to do what it is that they say that they're going to do, or act in the same accordance as what these certain celebrities say, when of course, like I said before, they're on the decline. There's a reason why it is that you're on the decline. The only thing you're doing is killing off the base of support that you already have, because chances are this type of stuff right here is not something that these people are going to go for. As I've said before, celebrities don't pay your bills, and people know this. So they tend to, say no to this, or no to what you say. There was a poll that was recently released showing that Taylor Swift was actually less popular than Donald Trump. I think I called that in a previous video on that same matter. Just saying. I'll talk about this disgraceful ad here in a second, and I'll talk about Sam Elliott here in a minute, but there are a few other people who I want to get to before we go any further. This right here is kind of funny, because recently I saw Sam Elliott in a commercial. Remember when the Democrats did that whole white dudes for Harris crap? You guys remember that? How it is, they had Mark Hamill, they had Sean Astin, they had all these guys who haven't been in movies in a while, and then they also had Jeff Bridges, of all people, the dude, who, by the way, I've never really thought was that great of an actor. Yeah, these actors are washed up. They're not exactly getting any roles right now. It's pretty daggone obvious that while some of them may, of course, actually be liberal, they're doing this, obviously, to get additional roles. But at the same time, though, it just only goes to prove to you that these people will sell themselves out for the smallest bit of fame and revenue. Still, though, Sam Elliott, in my opinion, is a special case, which I'm going to go ahead and talk about now. And so Sam Elliott, you probably remember him from the original Roadhouse, the only Roadhouse movie that was actually any good, because the one with Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor was absolutely atrocious. As the character of Wade Garrett, you probably remember him from The Ranch as Bo Bennett. You may remember him from his small role in the movie Ghost Rider as the original Ghost Rider. I could go through the list of all the characters that he's played. Of course, the character that comes most to my mind is one that I forgot about last Christmas, that right there being the film Prancer. He played the Diddy in that film. Sam Elliott has always been a very likable actor. He's always held a special place in some people's hearts. And to go on top of that, there are all these Facebook posts that basically said this man must be immortal. There was also the Yellowstone prequel series that he was a part of. And people think of Sam Elliott as like the traditional cowboy, when in reality, the traditional cowboy actor was really John Wayne. Or if you want to go all the way back to John Ford Westerns, or you could basically insert anybody you want. The original 3:10 to Yuma, you had Glenn Ford, you had Clint Eastwood, who, by the way, is more of a libertarian and not a conservative, but of course, he did in fact support Donald Trump in 2016, and of course, Clint Eastwood, like many smart actors, has chosen to stay out of politics this year. Back in 2020, he kind of ran turncoat and endorsed Michael Bloomberg, but I think ultimately, at the end of the day, he ended up supporting Trump. But still, Sam Elliott, it shouldn't surprise anybody, because Sam Elliott did this back in 2020. He was a part of an ad, did the voiceover, an ad for Biden talking about normalcy. And of course, he actually lost not so much a lot of fans, but of course, a lot of people were saying, well, he obviously was paid to do it. People said, we understand this. I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? Sam Elliott's a multimillionaire. I mean, or we've been led to believe he's a multimillionaire. The reason why they do this is, as what Tim Pool said yesterday at his live stream, when he was asked a question about this, the reason why they do this is because they're obviously looking for more roles. Like I said, they sell themselves out for the smallest fraction of any small bit of fame and fortune.
Blazalot says Paramore started showing up more in my Spotify shuffle. Coincidence? I don't think it is. I think you've got a band that's on the outs. They've been in decline. No disrespect. I'm a fan. I like their music. Even their new stuff. It's got some fun stuff. It's not as good. I don't know. But it's good. And so they're in my playlist all the time. But you look at how Paramore as a band, their songs aren't certified anymore. They're not charting. The last song that I think they had that actually got certified platinum was Hard Times. I think it might have been platinum. Might have been gold. But now all the releases they put out are just not hitting at all. So if someone comes to you and says, we're going to put you back on top, we're going to make you big, but look, you got to say something about Donald Trump because we don't want people who are going to be passive in this. And they're going to be like, yeah, absolutely, no problem. Please, I want to be back on top. That's the game, baby. That's the game as they play it. But let's jump to this next story.
However, it's typically the second, third tier actors and actresses who actually do this. I remember a couple of years back, I want to say it probably was longer. I think it was 2019, that Patricia Arquette, someone that quite frankly nobody has really cared about since her role in the film True Romance, she came out and basically gave this whole spiel about women's rights and of course women's pay, stuff like that there. What happens is these people get paid to virtue signal to get another role. Now, some of these people are, for the most part, probably liberal in real life, like I said before. But of course, though, they're selling themselves out for the smallest bit of fame and fortune, which, of course, is fame and fortune that goes away just like that there. Nobody really and truly cares. Sam Elliott, on the other hand, this right here only serves to hurt him much, much further, where it is that Paramore will just simply get an algorithmic shift for roughly about a month to boost their content, to boost their music. Same thing with that guy, Macklemore, but still at the same time, you guys can obviously get the point. A lot of these people sell themselves out for pretty much nothing. Basically, pennies on the dollar is what the hell they sell themselves out for. But like I said with Sam Elliott, this right here actually hurts a lot of people in some ways, but I'm not hurt at all because, quite frankly, I told everybody back in 2020 that him doing an ad for the Lincoln Project then would only serve to hurt his brand much, much more going forward. And once this ad gets out there, next thing you know, you see the very, very negative replies in the comment section outside the Lincoln Project, because the Lincoln Project are also quote-unquote conservatives who have also sold themselves out as well. These people are very, very loyal to John McCain, and I can tell you right now, and I've planned on doing a video on John McCain's life and history at some point in time, that I'm not going to attack his military record, okay? I'm just not going to do that, okay? And there's reasons why I won't do it, obviously, as a veteran, even though I do have some criticisms. However, the thing that you must know is that John McCain as a senator was absolutely terrible, absolutely horrible. Once again, I'll tell you to go to Razor Fist for that. So the Lincoln Project, getting someone like Sam Elliott, who kind of prides himself on being a Reagan-Bush conservative, to basically come out and say it's time to vote for a woman, doesn't really and truly surprise me. However, there are a lot of fans out there who will now notice that he's done this 2 consecutive election cycles. They'll notice this, and they will probably say, yeah, we're done with this guy. Now, you may be thinking, people make money all the time. People do this, obviously, because they need the cash. Need the cash? You people are millionaires, multi-millionaires, or you're supposed to be multi-millionaires. Oh, wait, that's why I'm pretty sure a lot of you so-called celebrities put that $1 million up your nose or put that $1 million in your veins. It's amazing to me how it is that some people can sell their own values out for so little. Now, Paramore probably was a bunch of liberals. They'll probably hear me say this again. And Macklemore probably really and truly doesn't really have much love for the United States. But Sam Elliott, on the other hand, is the one that kind of makes me raise my eyebrows at this prayer, because Sam Elliott had always been a guy who stayed out of politics and was kind of sort of the proverbial man's man. The cowboy type, the bouncer, of course, the roadhouse next to Dalton, of course, which I've already referenced before. Or the fact that he played a much, much more strong silent type in the film Prancer as a father to a little girl who came across a reindeer. Or he played the tough dad in The Ranch. Of course, Sam Elliott's got multiple roles I could go through. I don't think I need to go through that many. But the fact of the matter is that this where it actually looks kind of embarrassing on his end. The first time he did it could have been forgiven because you can make a decision, which is, I will support this candidate. And of course, if you support this candidate, it's probably because you felt that way at the time. But then you turn right back around and support the same crap that's actually destroyed the nation even further. That right there is when I can kind of look at you and say, I don't really have much time for people who destroy my nation. So yeah, the only thing this where serves Sam Elliott is it serves the fact that people can only see right through him. They can see that he, of course, is bought and paid for, which you will hear me say again and again over the course of this video. The fact is this right here. A lot of these celebrities, quite frankly, they're old and they're washed up. Let me give you one more example before I end this video. Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. Let me ask you a question. Please comment in the comment section. What do you remember Mark Hamill for outside of Star Wars? What do you remember him outside of being the voice of the Joker for Batman, the animated series? Chances are you probably don't remember him for anything else. I remember him for the role of Griff in the film The Big Red One. He was the main supporting actor in that film. And I also remember him for being the voice of the Hobgoblin in the Spider-Man animated series because I would come home from school when I was 8, 9, and 10 years old and I would watch Spider-Man on Fox. Chances are you probably don't remember Mark Hamill for anything else yet since the whole anti-Trump shtick started, which of course for him started roughly in 2017 when The Last Jedi came out, which obviously he had to say some crazy stuff to at least get into that role. Never mind exactly how much they screwed that film up and screwed his character. It's pretty obvious that this guy here obviously sold himself out for basically not even pennies on the dollar. This is the same guy who recently urged his granddaughter to abort a child. This is the same guy who, for whatever reason, also at the same time prided this restaurant in Chicago on serving, called them Trump dicks is what they called them, which is really kind of odd given the fact that Star Wars, basically, the new writers, basically wrote his character as gay. It's almost like somebody's trying to tell you something. But the question is, do these types of endorsements, do they matter? No, they don't. Back in 2020, when Sam Elliott did this same type ad for the Lincoln Project then, what ended up happening was Trump's vote actually went up. He actually ended up getting 74 from 63 million votes. If anything, people just see that these people are bought and paid for, they're sellouts, and quite frankly, they don't really matter anymore. That right there is the truth of these type of celebrity endorsements. They see that you are, in fact, bought and paid for and nothing more than a common whore. Now, I understand that this video right here was a bit of a rant, but I wanted to kind of talk about this before we get to the second video of the day, which is this very, very bad campaign that they are running and trying to court men. Second video of the day, I meant to say third, my bad, because I'll probably try to put another one out this afternoon or this evening. Still, though, this right here is actually quite embarrassing for Mr. Elliott. That right there is all I'm going to say. Paramore, on the other hand, I'm not really truly surprised that they would do this. They need all the clicks they can get. Macklemore, I don't think anybody really and truly cares. But still, though, it's just another sad attempt at showing people that you are, in fact, a sellout. But you guys tell what you think in the comment section. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sound off in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.